Hello family, it's Kiahonfire and welcome back to Conan Exiles. And today we have a pretty big update on the Isle of SIPTAH, and I mean big. This thing actually just turns the Isle of SIPTAH and just flips it around upside down on its head. They're actually giving the people what they want. Yes, you heard me right. Giving the people what they want. Which is probably something that probably should have happened like a lot earlier. But they're just kind of adding a bunch in now and kind of changing how SIPTAH works altogether, really, to make it more like the Exiled Lands, or perhaps better, who knows. But they're adding like tons of different stuff to it, apparently. I don't know how they're all going to get this out before the console launch, if they can even get Xbox fixed by then, we'll see. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to get that all out and ready for early next year. And now including all the stuff that they've talked about in today's video, which we're going to get down into deep and dirty, see what they're adding and what they're going on about, because this producer's letter is actually very juicy. So we open up this little letter up and we read it. I've read through it all and had a look. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. They've pretty much broken down most reviews of their Isle of SIPTAH, and they saw that we're not exactly 100% happy with how SIPTAH runs. It gets very boring very quickly, as you can see there's quite a lot of bugs, and you see the main problems here mostly coexist with rules, map, and bugs. So it's nice that they've been taking feedback in and actually just measuring it to scale. I don't know how accurate those results are. It's nice to see it put in a pie chart to be able to have a look at the overall kind of things they've read over. But pretty much what got me here wasn't really this. It was nice to see the acknowledgement and that they're going to change things. Was this part here. Improvements to the Isle of SIPTAH. They are going forward to improve the Isle of SIPTAH expansion significantly in all these aspects by introducing many new NPC camps around the map. That's right, they are binning the idea of their tornadoes and they're going to put NPC camps in the map, which should have been there really to begin with. But it's nice that we're going to have these in the map now and they're going to add them because, I mean, that kind of thing adds a lot of life to the map and gives you a lot of more playtime, I suppose. I love the camps on the original map, so it's nice to see they're adding those. And they're not just like old camps, they're not just smacking them back in. They're adding new ones, so they have a little picture down below, like all new NPC camps. You can see they got a different theme going on here. And you can see it will have a host of different human NPCs, which can be captured just like Thralls on the Exiled Lands. So different NPCs, I wonder if that would be new ones, like Azir camps or anything like that, like you kind of get in the Lay Shrines. But we'll have to see with that. But that is nice that we can see this. Also in there, it was said, populate the camps with humans who could be captured as thralls. So they're going to do that. Expand the island map to the south. So they're going to make an expansion on the Isle of SIPTAH with new content and desirable building locations. I don't know what this means for the top part, if they're going to add NPC camps up there as well, or they're just going to make it all in the south. Because if they do that, most people are just going to want to live in the south and not really anywhere in the north. Unless it's just other content, I suppose. But we'll see how that one rolls out. Tone down the intensity of the storm and make it possible to build within the storm area. That's definitely something great to see because the storm hogged most of the map to begin with, to be honest. And it kind of just makes sense to shrink it a bit. If you're on console, you don't really get that, where the storm took over a good, 40% of the map as a total. It takes up a hell of a lot of space, so it's nice to see they're turning down the intensity a bit there and see what they do with that. Also, they're breaking links between the vaults of the storm and the surge. They're also introducing purges back with enemies from the island, so that was really nice to see as well. I quite like purges on the island because it brings in some unexpected challenges, or you can get some nice thralls from there, so that's nice to see. I'm hoping there'll be like special SIPTAH ones, and well, you get your normal island ones as well. They're also introducing new activities and new PvE mechanics. Whatever those might be, I look very forward to them, because a lot of things with SIPTAH is it gets very repetitive and boring. So new activities and things to do, especially within the PvE aspect, is very, very nice. Because I mean, PvP, you could keep going and have a battle to people. But PvE, there's a point where it comes to a threshold of what you can do and what's new, and then you eventually hit the pinhead and stop playing altogether. So seeing they're adding new things, great. Alright, make new and unique placeables for the Isle of SIPTAH. Thank God. This should have been in here from the very beginning, to be honest. I have said this in my review, but yeah, it should have been in there to begin with. It's nice to see they're adding it in. So that is an absolute delight. They're also introducing a new religion and a new avatar. So perhaps something very specific and new to the SIPTAH you can only get there, I should imagine. I don't know if they're at it in the Exiled Lands, but good to see. I'm hoping it would be to do with the tower. That would be the avatar or something with the tentacles and stuff. That would be pretty damn cool. Also, open a chamber in the SIPTAH with great rewards that can be found inside. So that big tower in the middle, finally it will actually be something instead of just a tower that you feel like you should be able to go inside, but you actually can't. Also, allow character transfers between the Exiled Lands and the SIPTAH. This is something they've said in a previous podcast or dev talk, chat, whatever you want to call it. And where they said they were going to do it, and it's nice to see that they are repeating themselves here and just haven't brushed under the carpet. So that confirms that they are going to continue working on that. But like I said, that's a lot of things to add. Where are they getting the time to do this, especially in the holiday season? And how is this going to be released early next year with all of these new things to add? Unless they've been working on it right now and it's nearly ready, I don't know. You know, but... And then you've got to remember, you've got to have bug testing as well and all of that. So I'm kind of just like, I wonder if there'll be delays on the console versions of SIPTAH. I would think so, but we will see. So then they go on to talk about their camps. So the camps will vary in size and cover 3 different factions. Apparently you're going to have Stygian, you're going to have Black Kingdoms, and you're also going to have Argos. So that's very, very nice. And they also have the Corsair Pirates that have landed back here as well from the previous map. So it makes sense that these are here, so that's nice to see. Also, there is a especially large camp near the middle, so they have changed some things in the middle of the map. So there you go. That answers a few things, but apparently it's going to be a pretty good camp. So you could have another thing like New Asgard, I suppose, near the middle, and you can see that's actually very, very close. If you're used to the map itself, that's right on the doorstep of the tower itself, so very exciting to see. Now they're going into their Vault, Storm and Surge changes, which I was very curious about myself, because I'm like, well, how are they actually going to change this up to be different? What are they going on about? That's kind of the loop before, if you didn't know. You went to the Vaults, you got your Decaying Elder Realm, you'd save up, and then you could go to the Storm to save up for that, and then you'd all go into a Lay Shrine for a Surge. But I feel like by the time you get there, that Lay Shrine is pointless and there's nothing to do with the stuff you get from the Lay Shrine unless you're really doing PvP, which you probably wouldn't awfully bother with anyway. So they're flipping this and changing it completely. It needed to be changed, so that's very, very nice. So what they're going to do with the vaults, they're going to rebalance them all to be level 60 dungeons. Don't know how I feel about this one. I feel like some of them should still be low level and then some of them high level, so at least you have that kind of staircase to go up in the ways of wanting to do dungeons early or what, but we'll see what happens with that. Okay, I get it. That's 14 level 60 dungeons, which is interesting. I don't know how they're going to change that, if they're going to be exactly the same or they're going to have a different loot table. And they go on to talk about the storm, so you can actually build within the storm area now without peeving off the creatures that used to come and attack your build and destroy it. That's interesting. You can hunt the horrors in peace, and apparently they have new unique rewards. I wonder if that's going to be towards the new item sets they're talking about. So very, very interesting. And then they're talking about the surge, so that bit with the Lay Shrine, or well, tornadoes in general. The rewards have changed. It will be completely the same, and apparently you'll get also fragments of power from this, which they must be changing the loot table or something with this, because you can get absolutely loads of fragments of power on the SIPTAH. I usually found I had tons of them and then had so many that I didn't know really what to do with them. So I'll be interested to see what they go about with this. Then they go on to talk about their new lands. So expanding SIPTAH to the south. They're adding lots of things to the south, and they're adding 3 new biomes. Really, really exciting. Ashlands, Floodlands, and Savannah. So what that sounds like to me, you're probably going to get your normal Savannah that you got from the previous map. You're going to get the Floodlands. That sounds a lot like the swamp to me. So you'll probably get swampy. And then Ashlands sounds volcanic to me, really. Or just kind of things like that. So some new biomes. Or it could be like ash trees or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But new biomes is always lovely. I love having new places to explore and build, as I'm sure many of you do as well. And included in those will be those NPC cities. 2 new races, mysterious black pools that can be found in one of the city, and they will link to an all-new PvE mechanic allowing you to test your mettle in brutal fights against monstrous opponents. So basically, arena battles. And they're also having new activities in here to encourage exploration of the Isle of SIPTAH, opportunities to free human NPCs from camps, making them your followers. That is actually something really cool, and I'd love to see if those followers are worth having around or if it's just for kind of roleplay purposes. But it's very different from what you usually do on Conan, so I kind of really dig this idea they're going with. It's just about the execution here now. Then they go on to talk about their new religion. Unique weapons, tools, priest outfit, avatars, and altars are coming. Altars, if that means just more altars or several religions, or if they mean altars in tier 1, 2, or 3, who knows. But they also say Avatar is a horrific monster like no other, sure to give those faint heart with certain phobia nightmares. Makes me wonder if it's going to be a giant spider. I don't know. We will definitely see. Although I do feel like we have enough giant spiders kind of in the Exiled Lands already. They're everywhere. Then they go on about their purges, so I assume you'll be getting your normal purges that you do get on the Exiled Lands. However, you'll be getting them on SIPTAH now. And of course, the area that you build in determines the type of purge, like it would do on the other maps. So I imagine if you're closer to vaults or storm monsters, probably be a little bit more tougher. If you're lower down in safer areas, then it'd probably be a lot easier. There's also a new mechanic that will be introduced to these purges, allowing you to use resources to either prevent or provoke a purge. I know I'm going to be provoking a purge because that sounds freaking awesome. Maybe something you could do with the laws as well. You have those laws and they're not really awfully useful, I find, most of the time. So you could do something with them as well. Or something similar, perhaps. We will see. Very, very interesting. Very big updates. I think it's something we all needed to hear before the end of the year with Funcom, really, to see what they've been up to. Because recently, it's mostly been about fixing Xbox or whatever else with that. And of course, poor Xbox is waiting such a long time to get it fixed. Because all the crashes. But it is nice to see they're actually doing something else as well in the meantime to try and get things going, and seeing screenshots of what's going on here as well. Which I'm seeing in this photo here, it looks like the Exiled Lands here, right? So I'm wondering what this is going to be all about. Is this going to be on the Isle of SIPTAH or is it going to be on the Exiled Lands? Who knows? I don't know. It looks very... It's like a mismatch of the two. It's kind of weird, unless that's just not like a finished product or what. I don't know. Or maybe a new dungeon. We'll see. But no, there's a very good positive note to read. I'm really glad they're adding these changes in because it's things I feel like they need to add in here. Hopefully this comes with a healthy amount of bug fixes as well, because of course one of the biggest complaints about SIPTAH, if I remind you from earlier, is the bugs. It's one of the biggest categories there, and of course is very important to address as well. Equaling out with the other one actually, now that I've looked at it again. So, very big. Big buggy, 21% buggy, so it would be definitely very, very good to get fixes on that one too. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this update. What do you feel? Do you feel like this will be good for SIPTAH if you've played it already? Or do you feel like it's just pointless to do this and they should be working on something else, like fixing Xbox or fixing other bugs? For me though, I think it's a step in the right direction to keep this map more interesting and keep players coming back for more in the future. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!